Prime Big Deal Days is coming October 8th and 9th. Woohoo! Which can lead to involuntary deal squeals, like the infamous deal on a new massager squeal. Yeah! Save big on Prime Big Deal Days, October 8th and 9th.
Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, distribute it everywhere, and even earn money, all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit your podcasts right from your phone or your computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. Ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel so supported in the creation and distribution of my show. Spotify for Podcasters hosts masterclasses, office hours, and more to help creators develop and fine-tune their skills. I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. We are live from the new Rode Podcaster mic setup situation. We are parked in the living room, and I have a very special guest with me today.
Hello, everybody. It's Lexie.
She's back. She's back and better than ever. When was the last episode that we recorded together?
A few months ago, I think. I'm not sure. I think it was just like a random Q&A thing that we did. I have no idea what it was.
I want to say it was like January, maybe.
It was a while ago.
Like a dating specific episode?
Yes, I told a few stories. I really wanted to eat jelly beans today while recording the podcast, and Lily specifically told me that couldn't happen.
No, she full on was like chewing into the mic. I was
doing it as a joke. I wasn't going to do that when you hit record.
No, I know. But I've actually gotten multiple. It hasn't happened in a while, but I remember one podcast specifically that we recorded. We were back in mom and dad's house, and you were eating animal crackers. And I got a review that was like, can this girl just stop eating animal crackers into the microphone?
Okay.
And I'm thinking the only way that I can get her to come and record is if she's got a snack with her.
Yeah, I'm like a 5-year-old. Like, if you want to like make me sit still for a few hours, I'm gonna need a snack. So, well, I remember one time we recorded, it was after Marley's wedding, and we were on the floor in your room, and I was going in on one of those gigantic boxes of goldfish.
Was that in this house?
Yes.
Okay. That's hilarious.
And I don't care. I'm a hungry girl. And if I'm gonna eat a snack, I'm gonna eat a snack.
Yeah, as you should. You should.
No hate.
No hate.
But the jelly beans are off limits until later, which is probably a good thing. I probably shouldn't have an entire package of jelly beans.
Yeah. It is currently Easter Sunday.
Yeah, I was gonna say
happy Easter. Easter Bunny came. We went to church this morning. Got our Jesus on. Yeah, it was good.
I feel so legit talking in the microphone and hearing myself back in these headphones.
Can we just talk about the setup for a second?
Yeah, it's super cool.
What was your first impression when you first put on the headphones this afternoon?
This is cool. Like, it wasn't like anything crazy. I felt like I was DJing.
So yesterday I dragged Lexie to Guitar Center with me because I saw that the Rode Podcaster, what's this board called? The Rodecaster Pro. It's whatever the soundboard or the audio interface is that I'm using. And I saw that they had it on sale in a bundle with 2 mics, 2 headphones, their 2 desktop mic stands, and this audio interface. And I was like, okay, well, I have to have this because it was literally 50% off. Insane deal at Guitar Center. And we drove up to Glen Burnie. It was like 25 minutes. And picked it up. The guy was so cute. He like had it behind the counter all like ready to go.
Yeah, it was really cute. Like, we walked in, she was like, I don't want to wander around, so I'm just going to ask. And then,
because I had called to see if they actually had it in stock. And then the guy like pulled it for me. He's like, this is such a specific item, so I figured you'd come and get it.
Yeah, it was super cute. Very nice of him.
I know that there's going to be some learning curves with this new audio setup, so just bear with me.
No, it's not like it's bad. Like, I feel like I'm on a really official podcast.
You feel like you're on like Call Her Daddy.
Yeah, I just feel like super official. Like, not that your podcast wasn't official already, but I don't know, like next level with these headphones and hearing it back.
I am fully prepared to take this show to the next level. We've got
you should.
Thank you. We've got some really cool guests queued up for the spring and summer. I'm currently brainstorming with a new season for the summertime, and I just wanted to officially make this show just better in every single area. And I'm working on a new cover. I think I've kind of teased that a little bit. I'm working with a graphic designer. I'm gonna totally rebrand the Instagram. I want to bring video on. That was another reason why I wanted to get like the headphones and the mics and the full setup. And
it's just a little bit more legit.
It is. Yeah.
Like, I think it was super cute that you were like on your floor with your mic and stuff. And obviously you can still do that. But I don't know. It's like if you're taking it to the next level and like all these other places, then might as well amp up the sound quality and everything.
Absolutely.
You know, that's the whole basis of a podcast. So
just totally time to elevate it, and I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah.
I recorded an episode about, I don't know, maybe a month ago, and I played We're Not Really Strangers, but with myself. And I said during that episode...
So did you think that you're a stranger with yourself?
Yeah, I got to know myself really well.
Cool.
And so when I was recording that, I said, well, I should record this with Lexie. So I'm finally recording it with Lexie. Basically how the game goes is there are a bunch of cards and there's 3 different levels. So first level is like beginner, or like kind of like get to know you. Second level is connection. So who are you really? This round's about asking the rarely asked questions and connecting on a deeper level. And then level 3 is it's time to reflect on your game experience. So we're going to play this game and you guys are going to get to know me and Lex on a whole new level.
Okay. Are we actually starting with level 1?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the one closest to you?
Yeah.
Great one to start with. Do you think I fall in love easily? Why or why not?
We're just really diving in, aren't we? Yeah, you do. You are definitely the type of person that wears your heart on your sleeve. You are one of the best friends.
Thank you.
To all of your friends. You and I have this saying, first ring friend. Did you coin that?
I think I did. Yeah. Because I call myself the first ring friend.
Because you are.
Yeah.
You always pick up on the first ring. Always.
No matter what time it is, like who it is, where
it could be 2 in the morning and someone calls and you're like, hello. Even in your friendships, you definitely just dive in heart first. And that's just kind of like who you are. I think it gets you into a lot of trouble. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that that's a bad quality, because I would rather take someone who goes in heart first over someone who's like stone cold. I'm going to pull a card. And mine asks, do I seem like, oh, this is stupid. Do I seem like a coffee or tea person?
Coffee.
Okay, can I pull another one?
Yes.
Because that one was silly. Okay. I answered this one on my last one and we know it. It's what's my go-to karaoke song?
Party in the USA.
Exactly. I got this one too. Am I just like,
I don't, maybe you didn't show, you're choosing
deck?
from like the back.
Okay.
Here, pick like in the middle there.
Do you think I've ever checked an ex's phone for evidence?
You're not the type of person to even give a shit about it, but I feel like you probably did at least once. I feel like everybody does at least once. Or like looked over the shoulder.
I've never gone looking for evidence, but one time specifically, I was just playing on, I don't bleep his name out. I was playing on phone. This was like early on in our relationship. And I don't think I ever even told him this, but I found texts and DMs with an ex-girlfriend of his. This was like super early on in our relationship. Oh, wow. And it was kind of just like, oh, you know, like I hope that you're doing well at whatever college. Like it was all like very small talky. So I just kind of like brushed it off and I just figured, you know, I'm just going to be cautious because nothing really seemed too suspicious to me. I mean, talking to an ex is always like a little sus.
Yeah.
But I didn't go looking for evidence. A notification just popped up and I was like, I have to look into this.
Yeah. And it's like always kind of just like weird.
But I'm the type of person that like, I would rather not know.
And also,
I'm not going to go looking just to get myself hurt.
Well, and like, if they don't give you a reason, well, first of all, it's their situation, their property. Like, don't go through that. That's like kind of psycho. But if they're giving you reasons to do that, isn't that the biggest red flag anyway? If you feel inclined to go like snooping.
Well, the other thing too is like, I would just rather be hands off. If I was dating a person and I just was super unsure about our relationship, I feel like that's a conversation that you need to have. You intuitively know if something's wrong.
In every situation ever. Yeah. As a child, what do you think I wanted to be? I think they mean career-wise.
Oh, that's funny. That's exactly where my mind went first, so don't worry. I think you probably wanted to be like a pop star.
No.
My
like dream job, like in 3rd grade, I distinctly remember making this huge chart, and one of the things was, it was a school project. I didn't do this.
In her personal time.
No. School project, 3rd grade, big chart. One of the things was like, when I grow up, I want to be an ice cream taste tester.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then when I was in high school, I used to say like my dream life would be living on an island somewhere, married to the perfect guy, have all these little kids running around, just like little surfer beacher kids, and we're all doing yoga on the beach eating acai bowls. That was like my dream life. Like I got asked that one time and that was my answer, and it's like now like I am a yoga instructor, so maybe one day that'll happen.
The odds are definitely in your favor. Yeah,
I hope so.
Yeah.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
I always wanted to be like Taylor Swift. Like I wanted to have
really?
a microphone in my hand and like singing and talking to people.
Well, here you go.
Exactly.
Microphone in hand.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Just don't sing.
Well, I can carry a tune.
Yeah, you're better than me.
I can carry a tune. I sang in church growing up. I play the guitar, and so I'm actually going home to mom and dad's. I think I told you that. I'm going home to mom and dad's Tuesday, and I'm picking up a copy of Discovery Girl magazine, which I was published in at 12 years old for my story about popularity and bullying. No, the magazine itself. I know that there's a copy in the attic, and I'm going to look for the article. Backstory, guys. If you guys remember the magazine called Discovery Girl.
Kind of like American Girl, but for like, I would say like,
it was a little bit older. Tween girl. Like 10 to like 14 probably.
Yeah, it's the same genre as American Girl.
Yeah. And it was like young tween self-help, essentially.
Yeah.
And I was sitting at the computer one summer, and I really was into writing as a middle schooler.
Which is like so like just strange.
It's so weird. I've always been such an old soul.
You have. I think that Lily is like an old lady trapped inside a 23-year-old's body.
I think so
like,
too.
And from the get-go, like from the jump, she's been like 90 inside.
If you go through old journals, you're like a 14-year-old wrote
Should not be writing those things.
No way.
Not like it was inappropriate. It was just like so beyond the level of, oh, you were so intellectual.
As a 13-year-old.
You still are, but yeah. It's just,
I used to be. you were. I've been losing brain cells.
That's my life, I think.
No. But you're also very, very smart.
Oh, thanks.
No, you really are. You don't give yourself enough credit. Yeah, so I was really into writing. And so I wrote this article based on my 6th grade year. I was friends with these 2 girls, and they were huge bitches. And they were such bullies. And they were in my class. So we went to all of our classes together, and they were just really, really mean. And so I was inspired by my experience in 6th grade to write this story. And there was a column that you could submit to, and it was called My Worst Day. And that was it's
just so depressing that they made that prompt for like 6th graders.
They had so many weird sections. Like if you look back at magazines from that time period, it was pretty fucked. Like the way that they like wrote out, it was just weird headings and stuff.
Yeah.
My Worst Day story got submitted, and then a couple weeks later I got an email from the editor, and she said, "Hey, we loved your story. We think that it can really help some other girls your age. What's your parents' email? We would love to workshop."
How cute.
I know.
Like had to go through the parents.
Had to get parents' permission. Let's workshop this and get it published. So that was like August. I only know the time frame because I actually logged into my email. Pause, backtrack. We're coming up on the 10-year anniversary of this story being published. So I want to do an Instagram post about it. And I did a little write-up the other day. It's kind of cute. I want to tag the editor on LinkedIn because I found her. But I only found her because I went back into my old email because I was looking for more.
Somehow, some way, Google let her back into
that was
her
such
very
a God
first
thing.
email.
Like
yeah.
you know how hard it is to get into a Gmail account that you don't know the password to.
Yeah. The other day I tried to log into my own and it made me get a verification code sent to my email, but I'm like, I'm trying to get into my email. It doesn't make sense.
And then sometimes they make you wait like 24 hours.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I somehow got into this email account. And of course, me being so organized and the way that I am, I had a tab saved on the side that just said Discovery Girl. So in that folder, I had collected all the emails that were going through the workshopping process from Discovery Girl. And so I was able to really pull a ton of information and kind of get the timeline. So this was August of 2012. The article finally got published in April of 2013.
I remember receiving like the pictures of you holding it. I remember being in school and receiving those on my like slide phone.
Aww.
Yeah. Like mom sent it to me. She's like, oh, look, like Lily's magazine.
What, did I not go to school that day?
Or you got picked up early. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just remember like being like on the bus or in school or whatever. I mean, I was probably on the bus when I saw it because I wasn't allowed to have my phone in like elementary school or whatever. Like it was just in my bag for, emergencies. But I remember thinking it was really cool. But I opened it with like mom's pictures and stuff. Yeah.
That's so cute.
Yeah. On my slide phone too. So it was probably like the tiniest.
Like so pixelated. Yeah. So to bring it full circle, I basically gave advice on what to do if you're dealing with bitches in middle school to other middle school girls.
Yeah, and here you are now, podcasting to 20-somethings doing kind of the same thing, All right, we're moving on to the next level. What is the last thing you lied to your mother about?
I don't lie to mom.
We are open books with her. Okay,
Yeah.
This is actually a good one, and I feel like you're going to have to take a second to think about it. What is the most unexplainable thing that's ever happened to you?
To be quite honest, guys, I don't think I can publicly answer this question.
All right, we'll move on. I'll pick a different one.
Okay. Yeah, you pick it.
It could be juicy, but like we're not going to go there. What lesson took you the longest to unlearn?
Ooh.
That's a good question.
That's a good question. What lesson took me the longest to unlearn? I think I was a big believer that growth happens outside the comfort zone. And while I think that is true, because you got to go places that you've never gone to do things that you've never done before. But I also think that it's important that people understand that when you are comfortable, you have an opportunity to grow in a whole new way. I think for me, in this current season of my life, it's about undoing a lot of like overwhelm, overstimulation, overdoing it. Like I really got to a point where I was pushing myself way too much.
We're not supposed to be doing a million things all at once, all the time. Even right now, we're sitting here, but my phone keeps lighting up and it's taking everything in me not to turn my head,
You should just flip it over, put on Do Not Disturb.
Well, but I want to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
We're supposed to just, do one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, forgoing months, years, whatever it is, doing a million things all the time, you get in this not very good flow state, living like that and, not finding comfort in it, but like just saying like, this is life, this is how it is, but it's not, it shouldn't be,
I know for me, I find gratification in having a really busy calendar. Feel like I'm more worthy if I'm like busier. I'm more worthy if I'm doing more things, which is so not true in the slightest, because doing more things, filling my calendar has been the thing that's like been killing me.
Exactly.
And I think in this season of life, it's about going back to the comfort zone, like returning home, returning home to me, to what I know healing looks like, to just comfort.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm not pushing myself. I mean, we started this podcast off by saying that I'm elevating the show in so many ways.
Right.
From my comfort zone.
Yeah.
From my comfort zone. If you have, when was the moment you realized that you weren't invincible?
I think I have a problem with pretending that, I'm super easygoing. I don't let things rattle me. I normally do a great job of kind of controlling the way I handle situations, the way things affect me. But I think I realized that when I just didn't understand why I kept like breaking down. People say that, oh, feel all the feels. I don't have time for that shit. If I cry, it's probably crying myself to sleep at night, which is like sad, but it's funny at the same time. I just like cried on the couch to you the other day, you know, and I don't normally do that. I don't have to have this whole like shield up all the time. It's okay to be emotional and go through the entire wave of whatever. It's normal, it's human, but I don't have to put on this facade. But I mean, not saying that I was fake up until this point. You can be down in the dumps sometimes.
Me?
No, me.
Oh.
Like
you're just saying you as in like a general term. Okay.
Like, it's okay.
Because I was like, me? Yeah, absolutely.
Like, even though I'm a happy person and I get sad sometimes, doesn't mean that I'm living a terrible life. Mm-hmm. What question are you trying to answer most in your life right now?
I have a lot of questions. It's interesting because my 23rd birthday is on Saturday. So you guys are listening to this on Thursday. My birthday is Saturday the 15th. And I'll be 23. I kind of thought that by the time I turned 23, my life would look a lot different. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't say that I'm struggling. Like, you hear a lot of people, they're like, oh, I'm turning whatever and I'm struggling because my life doesn't look the way that I thought it does.
That irks me so bad.
It irks me so much. I'm so glad that you said that, because there's not a single part of me that wishes that my life looked the way that I thought it was going to look.
Right.
Because I don't want that life anymore.
No, not at all.
There's no part of me that's like, you know, mourning this old version of myself or the version of myself that I thought I would be, because I don't know who I'm going to be, you know, in a month. And that's cool to me. So I'm kind of going on a little bit of tangent, but I think the question I'm trying to answer most of my life,
that's the one.
This is the question that I can't answer the most. Because I have a shit ton of questions, don't get me wrong, but they're all like really specific, and it's more like, how long is this person going to be in my life for? Or, you know, is this feeling just for a season? Like, it's that kind of stuff that can't really be answered until you can see it in hindsight.
If God came down and gave you the option to, I guess, look in the future, or just, you would have one question for future Lily. Mm-hmm. Would you want to know, first of all? And then sub question of that question would be, what would you want answered? I know mine.
Okay, so I think, just because I'm curious, I think I would want to know if I...
So you would know, you'd want to know one thing.
But here's the thing, one thing would lead so many other things.
But he would cut you off, he'd go back to heaven, like you wouldn't be able to answer, or you wouldn't be able to ask.
if I only had one question, mm-hmm. I wouldn't want to know anything. If I only had one. But if I because I know myself, and if I start asking questions, I'm going to ask a lot of questions. But my question would be, do I already know? Well, I would have a lot of questions. So can I say like 3 of my questions?
Sure.
And this is why I don't want to know jack shit. Question number 1 would probably be, do I already know the person that is going to be my husband one day?
That's what I was going to ask.
Because I
want to know.
On air right now, I'm going to say, yes, I know him already.
Me too.
And let's see if we're right in
let's come back
5-10 years. Come back to this episode.
I hope it's like 1 year. If you're listening to this, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I'm not pressuring you. And I'm single, by the way. That's question
number 2 would be, how long is it going to take for this podcast to become my full-time job? Question number 3 would probably be, when will full like self-acceptance, and I would never want to say like you're fully healed, but I've definitely gone through some shit in the past like 3 to 4 months. But like, when will I get to a place that I'm like content in like who I am, you know? Mm-hmm. Which isn't like a lack of confidence thing or like lack of self-esteem thing, but it's just like contentment. That's like, there's nothing I need to fix, you know?
Yeah. Or that you like second guess yourself on.
Yeah.
I think that's the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm picking or you're picking. Has a stranger ever changed your life?
Well, he was a stranger.
Okay.
Yeah. I think strangers change your life every day.
Oh yeah.
You know, like it's and vice versa too, you know.
Yes.
I mean, there's a guy, and I told Lexie about this when we passed him one day, but there's a guy that is on the same routine as me. And so when I would leave for work around like 8:40, 8:45 every day, he would be taking his morning walk. And so our street is really hard to pull out of. You have to kind of do that thing where like you inch forward a little bit. He would always be not always, but most mornings he would be standing there, and he's kind of like this funny looking guy, and he's always like dressed a little funny. He would stand there by the stop sign, and he would see me coming, and we would do like our little wave. And sometimes he would let me know because I couldn't see around the bush in the neighbor's fence to see if anyone was coming up on one side. And he would be standing there, but he could see. And so all of a sudden he would just start, I wish that I had this on video, but all of a sudden it would be like, he would hold up his hand and be like, stop. And all of a sudden he'd be like, go. He'd like wave his hand, go. And so he would change my life every day because he would help me with the traffic. So that was always nice. So that's just a small example, but I think, you know, you never know the little things. And I don't even know his name. All right, finish this sentence. Strangers would describe me as blank, but only I know that I am blank.
Strangers would describe me as probably like really outgoing and chatty and probably even like a little annoying, but only I know that there's a lot of levels to me and not many people know or see those. And even the people closest to me, I don't think fully have experienced them.
I would agree with that. Minus the annoying part. You're the type of person that everyone's kind of attracted to. And you even said it like with a table the other day, like this table was like kind of being short with the other waitress on your staff, but you came up and they were like just happy to talk to you. But I think a lot of people are attracted to your good energy. So I wouldn't say that people think that you're annoying, but you have a very like bubbly and outgoing and like everything is sunshine and rainbows type of personality.
And I think some people think that like I'm really, really ditzy, and I am, but there's also so many parts of me that just people don't know. If you could have it your way, who would you be with? Where would you be? And what would you be doing?
I would just be surrounded by all my best friends from all walks of life.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I have such a cool circle of people that I love that don't necessarily know each other. So I think like getting all of those people in one room that I just love so deeply would be so cool.
It'd be interesting to see how they react because like the common ground is you.
Yeah. Well, we would probably start the day with like yoga or something, and then we would all go get coffee, because this is stuff that like everybody who I love in my life loves to do too.
Right.
Like we all would love to do like yoga and then like go get coffee after, and then probably go out and just like dance and drink and like have a good time. Are you missing anyone right now? Do you think that they are missing you too?
Yes to both of those, but I think that the difference is, for me, my life didn't change other than their departure, but for them, their life is changing a lot.
It's always easier for the person who leaves.
It was already pre-planned before we even knew each other, so it's not like it had anything to do with me at all. I think it's hard to think about or even begin to try to pretend that you know what's going on in somebody else's head. Even if you have conversations and you think that they're being completely transparent with them, you'll never know all of their thoughts. So why even bother trying? And why blame them for the way they handled it? What's something you wouldn't want to change about yourself?
One thing that I wouldn't want to change about myself, probably the way that I listen, which is interesting considering I'm always the one talking, especially like in this space. But I think I do a good job, and you can confirm or deny this. That's fine. If I'm completely wrong about myself,
no, I
that's
think you're
fine.
one of the best listeners.
Oh, thank you. Okay, cool. Well, then that just confirms what I was going to say. Ooh, T. Have you, no, I almost like don't want to ask you this question because I don't want to trigger you again.
Well, then.
Have you ever told someone I love you but didn't mean it? If so, why?
Yes, that wasn't a trigger. I told that because I felt bad. Because
what did you learn from that situation?
Well, I guess it was a good reminder. I always know to be honest. It was like, who cares kind of if you're hurting them? Because why would you say that? That's kind of like my thought process once I like heard myself say it. Like he was saying it a lot. I had only said it one time.
Well, he was really like love bombing you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just kind of felt bad and I was like, oh, you know, like it doesn't mean that much, but it totally does. I mean, obviously it does, but yeah, I just learned like not saying it hurts a lot less than not meaning it.
All right, we're moving on to category 3. Lexie's pulling a card.
This is a good one. What parts of yourself do you see in me?
First off, we look smack alike. So I feel like I'm looking at a mirror. I think our sense of humor,
Yes.
we've definitely morphed into one.
And we're funnier than ever.
We are funnier than ever, but we're only really as funny as we are to each other.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Oh, yeah. Victor. These aren't pajamas. This is a warm-up suit.
I would say our ability to kind of, this is only really true for us just because of our like connection.
No, I think we're telepathically charged.
We definitely are. We'll be in the car and I'll start to play a song and Lexie's like, how'd you know that I was thinking about that song? Or I'll start singing a song and you're like, was I singing that earlier because that was in my head? And I'll be like, no, it was in my head. And you're like, well, that's weird because I was thinking about it. Yeah. So we just kind of have this like on the same wavelength 24/7 type of vibe. But I would also say that we're very, very different. And I kind of recently took us out of the same box because someone really specifically pointed out differences in us. And I was like, oh, I guess that is true. And kind of encouraged me to enjoy my differences and not like I was running around trying to be like you. But I think, you know, like we joke about how I've gotten more fun and more outgoing and like all this stuff. But I also think like there's a part of me that's meant to truly be introverted. We talked about earlier in this episode about returning to my comfort zone. And I think that includes returning to my introverted self and kind of being okay with being alone. And I wasn't okay with being alone for like the past 6 months. I like always had to be with someone. Like you would be gone and I would be like low-key freaking out.
Yeah.
And I'd be texting you, I miss you. Like, where are you?
That is so true.
Is this a level 3? Yeah. Okay. If we were in a band, what would our name be?
Things not to name the band.
What not to name the band?
Probably like L squared or like GG, like Giggle Girls. The Sisters or something.
Sisters.
I feel like it would be the Sisters.
The Goofy Girls or
Goofy Girls I feel like isn't a band name. That's
Goofy
more
Girls?
it's like a comedy, stand-up comedy.
Like a clown, like a clown show.
The Pointer Sisters. What do you recommend I let go of, if anything?
Ooh, brutally honest moment here for you, for me to give you advice. Let go, practice non-attachment. And I know you've tried, but it's so much easier said than done. And I know that you've been like, I need to just let go of this. I think it's a lot easier said than done to say, I'm not attached to the outcome here, but in your heart, you know that you are. It's so much easier said than done, but I think you just need to let go of complete control over the next season, this next chapter that we're moving into. Because you and I went through boatloads of change in the past month. And so much so that it's like we've not even opened a new chapter, but we've opened a new book. And we have a cool opportunity to just kind of start fresh, both of us.
I feel like we're going into like our like therapy.
No, I think we are. I think
like not, I hate to keep saying like era, like everyone's using that word right now, but I think that like this next chapter is just going to be like almost like let's be selfish for once.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. And I'll give away a little spoiler here, but the summer season of the podcast, we're going to start season 7 in June, and it's going to be Healing Girl Summer. That is the season of life that I think I'm entering into, and I think you're coming with me.
The beginning of the year, I chose my word of the year as flourish, and I have been trying to figure out symbolism and imagery for that, what I'm going through these past couple weeks and everything. And I think that like the best way I can put it into it, like a picture in my mind, is that you don't plant 2 seeds in one hole. Okay. Oh my gosh. Really? But what the fuck? Okay, you plant one flower at a time in the ground. But you can put 2 seeds in. Have you ever planted a garden? She said no. I just peed my pants. I'm about to. No, I just felt a trickle. You tinkled a little bit. Okay. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. Do you mind if I rewrite that quote for you? No, I'll come up with something. Okay. The flower doesn't bloom the same day it's planted. Yeah. I don't like that one. It's so stupid. It's so cheesy. You know what's stupid? You saying stupider? That's not even a word. You know what's more stupid? You don't put 2 seeds in one hole. I gotta go to the bathroom. Me too. Okay, I'm stupid. We are back. We took a quick little intermission to regroup. Whew, that was funny. In one word, how would you describe our conversation? I would say our conversation has been very relevant. Yes, I think these cards have been like extremely on point. I think so too. Well, and I think most of these cards can be applied to any area of life. I think everyone's got an answer for everything. I feel a big shift. I don't know what's in the air right now, but everybody that I've talked to is like, yeah, you know what, a lot is changing in my life. And maybe that's just spring in general. There was just a full moon last week. Yeah. Like there's just a lot going on. But I think a lot of people are ready for just kind of like a healthy reset. How does one earn your vulnerability? Have I earned it? And how can I earn more? Well, yes, you've earned it. And like, I don't think you could get any more vulnerable than the two of us get. I think that goes back to what I was saying earlier about like my different layers. And I think it's like a comfort thing. Levels, then I'll show you that level. But if I either never see that side of somebody, or if I just know that they're not capable of going there, I won't try, because what's the point? They're not gonna like understand. Would you say that most of your conversations are pretty intentional, or would you say that they're pretty surface level? Think about like maybe like the top 5 most important people in your life, and not like the side like conversations that you have at work and stuff like that. Okay, yes, everything's intentional then. With the important people in my life, I do share a lot. And I think that's just kind of partially how we were raised. Our family is very close and open. Do you think growing up vulnerability was encouraged? Yes. Even when we were like really, really little. Let's talk through this. Why are you feeling this way? Do you think that that template of talk to me, what's going on, set you up for success today? Or do you think that it set you up to kind of like wear your heart on your sleeve? A little bit of both. Because I think that like I'm really, really comfortable sharing things that maybe I shouldn't always share with certain people. Because I was raised like that, I can also show comfort to somebody else who might not be able to open up, but for some reason people do around me. Or maybe I just know the right question. And you're the same way. From an outsider's perspective, you're able to ask the right questions to be able to not like get it out of somebody, but essentially, yeah, being able to let somebody feel like you're actually listening and you actually care. Do you think that vulnerability is a two-way street? Are you capable of being vulnerable with someone who's not being vulnerable with you? I do think I have before been vulnerable with someone who's not necessarily there yet with me. But recently I feel like it had to be both people, me and whoever else. Otherwise it's not coming out of me, because I'm just like, I'm kind of starting to become more of a lockbox. I think sometimes withholding information is kind of I feel like the word power play has a negative connotation, but maybe it's kind of like holding on to your power,
because information and like, I don't want to say like secrets, but like there are things about yourself that you don't necessarily want everyone to know right off the bat. And I would agree with you. I think like a year ago, I was a lot more open and willing to share things that now I'm kind of like, well, you know, as soon as I open this can of worms, like this is going to happen.
I think I've learned to appreciate silent company. There's comfort and understanding in the silence with somebody.
I love the friends that you can just sit in silence with. And you can just chill. Maybe you're listening to music. Maybe you're both just like on your phones. Maybe you're just sitting in the car, like radio off, nothing. It's like the coolest thing.
Mm-hmm. Because you just get each other. And that's kind of where like soulmate, twin flame type of things, in my own personal experience and how an understanding of how those things are. I just think that that's kind of, you just get each other already, so you don't need to talk. And that's the whole thing of like soulmates and twin flames. Like we've been here before, so it's not uncomfortable. Are you lying to yourself about anything?
I think I'm getting back into a phase of trusting myself. Right now, for me, it's hard to determine what are the lies and what's the truth, especially when it comes to like decision making.
Do you feel like what's happened and the experiences and stuff that you've been going through, do you think that it's clouding your judgment when it comes to making a decision at all?
Oh, absolutely. I think I've been knocked down time and time again.
Right.
That it's hard for me to really see clearly. I've kind of joked about walking around with like a rain cloud over top of me. I don't think it's raining anymore, but I think it's really, really foggy. Like we're on like a 2-hour fog delay. Like school's not starting till 11. Like,
yeah.
You know.
How do you think that you can kind of clear that rain cloud and clear that self-doubt and just come back to like the present moment and just kind of, I guess, like let things play out, or maybe just make decisions based on what you actually want versus the possible outcomes?
Going around telling myself that like this decision will lead to this is always gonna set me up for failure, and I know that.
Yes.
And also just practicing positive self-talk, you know, kind of rebuilding the foundation that had kind of been like burned to the ground just based on past experiences. Back in the fall, I had a situation that I don't think I like fully healed from. And so just kind of like working through that, just kind of like going back through the file and like working through all this shit that I kind of just like swept under the rug for far too long. Just getting into kind of like the nitty gritty and doing like the true, like the work. What's a compliment you wish you received more frequently?
In high school, my love language was words of affirmation. Like I thought that like I needed, oh, you're so pretty, oh, you're this, you're that. I kind of don't like that anymore. Or maybe it's just a surface level compliments. Like I really don't care if you think I'm pretty or if you think I'm ugly. I don't know. Something like personality wise. Like it could even be like, oh, I really, really like how you're up for everything.
I think it would be cool to kind of be a fly on the wall when other people are describing you.
Yeah.
Like your close friends are describing you to a stranger. I think about mom when she's describing like a friend's kid or something like that. And she's like, well, you know, so-and-so is very blah, blah, blah. And they're like, blah, blah. Like, I want to know what people who just kind of know me like once removed say about me. We'll never know these things. And everyone's interactions with us are different, so they might
like,
say different things. But
I thought that what a friend said recently about another friend was like, they have such a big heart. Like, I think that is like a really nice compliment, and it was funny because she didn't even know them like that. It was more of like a vibe thing in that situation.
Well, thanks for joining us today, Lex.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Love you, girl.
Me. Yeah,
you're welcome on the show anytime. This was us playing We're Not Really Strangers. We're truly not strangers. I feel like this game's almost harder because we do a really good job of being vulnerable. I feel like the past like week or so, you've been a lot more vulnerable with me than you ever have.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that statement.
And we've really gotten down in the depths
recently
of your cute little heart lately. So I'm happy that you sat down to play with me today, but really there's not a lot of new information here.
No. I mean, it's interesting to talk about it in full. And
I love talking about feelings. Like, I love going deep.
Yeah, and you always, like, have great additional questions.